Hey everyone, and welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Always ready to explore.
Well, today we're tackling a topic that's been a source of fascination and debate for centuries: extraterrestrial life.
I think it's safe to say that the possibility of life beyond Earth is one of the biggest questions humans have ever pondered.
No kidding. And with all the new discoveries in astronomy and planetary science, it seems like we're getting closer and closer to finding some answers.
We definitely are. The field of astrobiology is exploding with new research and exciting possibilities.
So before we get too far ahead of ourselves, can you give us a quick rundown on what exactly astrobiology is?
Astrobiology is basically the study of life in the universe, its origins, evolution, and potential existence beyond Earth.
Okay, so it's not just about searching for little green men.
No, no, not at all. We're looking for any kind of life, no matter how strange or unfamiliar it might seem. And to do that, we have to draw on a wide range of disciplines like astronomy, biology, chemistry, geology, even philosophy.
Wow, it's like the ultimate interdisciplinary field.
It really is.
So when we're searching for life beyond Earth, what are some of the things that scientists are looking for?
Well, one of the key things is to understand what makes a planet or moon habitable.
You mean like having liquid water in a suitable atmosphere?
Right. But it's not just about finding a place that looks like Earth. We're also studying extreme environments right here on our planet to see what's possible.
You mean like those deep sea vents where life thrives without sunlight?
Exactly. Or those super salty lakes where only specialized microbes can survive.
So those extreme environments are like natural laboratories, showing us that life can exist in conditions we once thought were impossible.
Precisely. These extremophiles are pushing the boundaries of what we consider life and expanding our search criteria for extraterrestrial life.
That's fascinating. So we could be looking for alien life that's totally different from anything we can imagine.
Absolutely. Life on another planet might not even use water as a solvent. It could be based on methane, ammonia, maybe even something we haven't even thought of yet.
Okay, now you're just messing with my mind.
But all this talk about the potential for diverse life forms brings us to one of the most intriguing puzzles in astrobiology, the Fermi paradox.
Ah, yes, the classic "where is everybody?" question. If the universe is so vast and ancient, why haven't we found any evidence of other civilizations yet?
That's the paradox that's been baffling scientists for decades.
And are there any potential solutions to this paradox?
There are actually a number of possible explanations, each with its own set of implications.
Okay, I'm ready to get existential. Hit me with some of those possibilities.
Well, one possibility is that we're truly alone in the universe.
Wow, that's a pretty lonely thought.
It is a sobering thought for sure, but it's one possibility we have to consider. Another, perhaps even more unsettling possibility is the Great Filter theory.
The Great Filter, I've never heard of that. What is it?
Well, it suggests that there's some kind of barrier that prevents most civilizations from reaching a certain level of technological advancement, a filter that essentially wipes them out before they can reach the stars.
You mean like some sort of self-destruction scenario?
It could be self-destruction, it could be some other catastrophic event. We just don't know.
That's pretty terrifying to think about, especially considering our own, shall we say, interesting technological trajectory.
It is a sobering thought, for sure.
So, are there any other slightly less depressing explanations?
Of course. There's the idea that they're out there, but they're deliberately silent.
Silent? Why would they be silent?
Well, there are a few possibilities. Maybe they're watching us from afar, waiting for us to reach a certain level of maturity before making contact.
Like we're in some sort of cosmic reality show.
Perhaps. Or maybe they're silent for our own protection.
You mean like contact with an advanced civilization would be too overwhelming for our society?
Exactly. It could be too disruptive or even dangerous.
That's definitely a thought-provoking idea. And I guess there's always the possibility that we simply haven't found them yet because the universe is just so vast.
That's another very real possibility. The universe is mind-bogglingly huge, and the chances of us crossing paths with another civilization, even if they are out there, are incredibly slim.
Like finding a needle in a cosmic haystack.
A very big haystack.
Okay, so we've talked about the Fermi paradox and the vastness of the universe, but what about our own cosmic backyard? Does our solar system hold any promising locations for life beyond Earth?
It's funny, we were just talking about extreme environments and those incredible extremophiles.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing to think about.
Like, it really makes you wonder how we define life as we know it.
Right. I mean, these extremophiles, they're thriving in conditions that would be lethal to pretty much anything else we know.
Exactly. It's like they're from another planet.
Huh. Well, speaking of other planets, could these extremophiles give us some clues about what kind of life we might find elsewhere in the universe?
Absolutely. They really broaden our understanding of what's possible and where we might find life.
Okay, so walk me through this. How do extremophiles help us in the search for extraterrestrial life?
Well, for starters, studying extremophiles here on Earth helps us identify what we call biosignatures.
Biosignatures.
Yeah. Basically, these are signs or clues that indicate the presence of life, even if it's vastly different from what we're used to.
Ah, I get it. So it's like finding fingerprints at a crime scene. But instead of fingerprints, we're looking for evidence of life processes.
That's a great analogy. And these biosignatures can take many forms. For example, the presence of certain gases in a planet's atmosphere.
Like oxygen, right? Because that's what we need to breathe.
That's one. But there are others, like methane or even phosphine, that could be produced by certain types of microorganisms.
Wait, those gases can also be produced by microbes. I thought they were toxic.
They can be toxic to us,
Yeah.
but to certain microbes, they're essential for life.
So if we detect those gases in the atmosphere of another planet, it could be a sign of microbial life, even if it's not the kind of life that we're used to seeing.
That's exactly right. It's like a chemical fingerprint that hints at the possibility of life.
It's like a cosmic game of Clue. But instead of figuring out who did it, we're figuring out what kind of life is out there.
Ah, I like that.
So how do we actually detect these biosignatures on planets that are light years away?
This is where technology plays a huge role. We use powerful telescopes, like the James Webb Space Telescope, to analyze the light passing through an exoplanet's atmosphere.
Wow, that's some serious high-tech detective work.
It is. And it's not just telescopes. We also have robotic missions exploring the surfaces of planets and moons in our own solar system, like the rovers on Mars.
Oh, right, they're looking for evidence of ancient water or maybe even signs of past life, right?
Exactly. And missions like NASA's Europa Clipper will be studying the icy moons of Jupiter and Saturn, looking for those hidden oceans that could harbor life.
So we're covering all our bases, from peering into the atmospheres of distant planets to exploring our own cosmic backyard.
We're leaving no stone unturned in our search for life beyond Earth.
And who knows what we might find. It's an incredibly exciting time to be following this field.
It really is. And thinking about all this exploration makes me wonder about something.
What's that?
Well, what if we do find life beyond Earth? What would that mean for humanity?
Wow, that's a big question. I mean, on a fundamental level, it would challenge our sense of uniqueness, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. We'd no longer be the only known example of life in the vast cosmos. Imagine the impact that would have on our religions, our philosophies, our art, and even our science.
Yeah, it would be a paradigm shift, wouldn't it? Like realizing that the Earth wasn't the center of the universe.
Exactly. And it would raise a whole host of new questions about the nature of life, the possibility of intelligence elsewhere, and even the potential for interactions with other civilizations.
It's both exhilarating and a little terrifying to think about.
I agree. But regardless of what we find, the search itself is pushing the boundaries of human knowledge and understanding.
And that's pretty awesome in itself. So let's shift gears a bit and talk about some specific places in our solar system that have scientists really excited about the possibility of finding life.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so we touched on Mars earlier. What's the latest scoop on the red planet? So Mars, it's the planet that's always captured our imaginations when it comes to alien life.
It really has.
I mean, is there actually a chance we could find life there?
Well, there's definitely evidence that Mars was once a much warmer and wetter place than it is today.
Oh yeah, I've seen those images, like ancient riverbeds and lake basins.
Exactly. And the rovers have found evidence of organic molecules, the building blocks of life.
Okay, but does that mean there's definitely life on Mars right now?
Not necessarily. Those molecules could have formed through non-biological processes.
Right.
But it does suggest that the ingredients for life were present billions of years ago.
And maybe, just maybe, some form of life is still clinging to existence somewhere beneath the surface.
It's possible, especially if there are hidden reservoirs of water, as some scientists believe.
It's a tantalizing thought, isn't it? Imagine Martian microbes hiding out in underground aquifers waiting to be discovered.
It would be an incredible discovery for sure.
But Mars isn't the only place in our solar system that has scientists buzzing about the possibility of life, right? What about those icy moons we were talking about? Europa and Enceladus.
Yes. Those are two of the most promising candidates in our search for extraterrestrial life.
What makes them so special?
Well, both Europa, which orbits Jupiter, and Enceladus, which orbits Saturn, are thought to have vast global oceans of liquid water beneath their icy shells.
Wait, you mean oceans that are even bigger than all the oceans on Earth combined?
Potentially, yes. And what's even more exciting is that these oceans are thought to be in contact with rocky seafloors,
And why is that important?
because that interaction could provide the necessary chemical ingredients for life.
So you're saying these moons could have hydrothermal vents, just like the ones on Earth, that support those incredible deep-sea ecosystems.
Exactly. And remember those plumes we talked about earlier?
Yeah, the geysers on Enceladus.
Well, they're spewing water vapor and organic molecules into space.
So it's like Enceladus is giving us a free sample of its hidden ocean.
In a way, it is. And these plumes provide a unique opportunity to study the composition of that ocean without even having to land on the moon.
That's amazing. It's like a cosmic gift basket.
Ah, I like that.
But seriously, what kind of life could exist in those dark, cold oceans? It's so different from what we're used to here on Earth.
Well, we can look to Earth's own extremophiles for clues. Life is incredibly adaptable, and we know that it can thrive in the absence of sunlight, relying on chemical energy instead.
So those icy moons could have unique ecosystems that are completely different from anything we've ever seen.
Absolutely.
It's mind-blowing. But let's say we do find evidence of life beyond Earth. What would that mean for humanity? How would it change our perspective?
That's a question that has philosophers and theologians grappling for answers.
Yeah, it's a pretty profound question.
I mean, on a fundamental level, it would challenge our sense of uniqueness. We'd no longer be the only known example of life in this vast cosmos.
It would be like Copernicus realizing that the Earth wasn't the center of the universe.
Exactly, a paradigm shift.
Okay.
And it would raise so many new questions about the nature of life, the possibility of intelligence elsewhere.
And maybe even the potential for interactions with other civilizations.
Right, it would have a profound impact on our religions, our philosophies, our art and literature, everything.
It's a lot to wrap your head around.
It is. But one thing's for sure, finding life beyond Earth would be one of the most significant discoveries in human history.
It would change everything, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. But even if we don't find definitive proof anytime soon, the search itself is incredibly valuable.
How so?
It's pushing the boundaries of science and technology, it's sparking important philosophical discussions, and it's inspiring future generations to explore the universe.
Well said. So for those of you listening who want to delve deeper into this fascinating topic, be sure to check out GalileoWhispers.com for more resources.
There's a ton of great information there.
And until next time, keep looking up and keep those cosmic questions coming.